not just someone else's girl.
Putting this collection album together, it was quite nice looking back and listening to all the songs from the past. It's not something that I ever thought I would do, or it wasn't really something I was saying let's do this, but a lot of people at my label were saying we think it's a really great time to do something like this, and there's such a great body of work and there's new songs as well that we can really kind of make an amazing album. When I was fully on board and I got the chance to listen back to all my back catalogue and start piecing the album together, I just felt really proud of everything that had happened. And when I started out, I was just winging it. I'm still winging it now, but I just kind of was buzzing to have an album in the shops, and I never thought that I would be here 11 years later still doing my thing and putting out this collection album. So for me it's just a really great feeling that I feel really excited by everything that's happened. When I was going through the songs again, they do sound differently, some of them, and there are some tracks on this collection that are different versions than the original album, and it's because just when you live with songs for a while, sometimes you don't really like how they sound anymore and you start picking at it, because when you make the album you can't just keep changing things. There's got to come a point where you go, right, that's that. After the years pass, you start going, oh, maybe we could have done this differently or done that. So there are some tracks on there, for example a song Give It All Up, which is a completely reimagined version, and that's just a version that I came up with my band when we were on tour, and I think that naturally happens. I think listening back to some of the songs, I was a bit surprised that I was able to make so many songs like in that time. I know it's been a long time, but I've never seen myself as particularly prolific. I just kind of do what I need to do, and that's it. So it was nice to go back and feel that there was such a huge body of work to pick from. I think the message of Women in the World, the obvious one would be everything that's happened in the past few years. With everything that's going on, women feel a bit more confident, they're able to find their voice a bit more. But I think for me personally, that's not really an issue that I've ever had. I've never felt that I've not had opportunities because I'm a woman. I think sometimes it's been a bit harder and more is expected of you. People always want you to look lovely and glam and all of this, whereas I'm the biggest scruff going, so that side of it I think is more difficult being a woman. I think just that message that it's 2018 now, like it's okay for women to do what they want, to be who they want, and we do have that chance, and I think that's where the song ultimately came from. I have a few times felt like a woman in a man's world, but I like the challenge, and I think sometimes when you're a female, people don't give you enough credit and they don't expect you to be able to do what you do, and I like that I know I can go into these environments and completely hold my own, and I like that element of it. I think it makes me feel happy and proud, and that I can do whatever I want to do or be whoever I want to be. The songwriting process for me changed a little bit with the last album. With my first album, it was just me in my bedroom when I was 15, 16 years old. And then with the second album, it was still just me, but I was no longer in my bedroom. Things had moved on a bit. Third album, I wrote all myself as well. But with my fourth album, I just felt that it was time to try something new. And I started writing songs with some of my bandmates. And that's something that I'd never done before. I'm very shy, I'm very nervous and giving my ideas across because I'm too afraid that they're not very good. So it took me a bit of time getting used to that. But doing it with my bandmates made it a bit easier because it was people I know really well. They're like family to me, so it was a bit easier to say what I felt. But after a day or two, I just really clicked in that environment and I really liked it. I felt like the pressure wasn't all on me. And for 3 previous albums, it had been high pressure, like you feel like, right, I really need to kind of do something here. whereas having other people involved made it a much more relaxed affair. And it meant that with the songs, there were so many memories with them. Like when I think back to certain songs that I've written on my own, it's just me sat in a room, so it's a little bit boring. But when I think back to the ones that I'd written with some of my bandmates, it was funny stories, it was jokes, it was nice lunches out and things like that. So I have a real nice memory from when I wrote them songs. I think in the past I was definitely somebody that looked ahead, had targets, aimed for things, and I feel very lucky that the kind of targets that I had, I kind of achieved them, and never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would have a career that now spans more than a decade. And I remember right at the beginning, I was just starting out, I was a teenager, and I would always get asked the same question, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I'd always say, I'm just really happy to do my thing, so if I'm still doing this, then that's great. And now that 10 years has passed and I still seem to be doing my thing, and I'm really happy with that. I don't have any crazy grand ambitions. I just feel like I'm very lucky with what I've got, and I'm really happy to just continue in that vein if possible.
And nothing's gonna get to me.